Hey guys, the Film Geek has returned, and for the new release on Scream, I thought it'd be fun to discuss who could have killed who in the first Scream film. So if you've not seen the first Scream film, please go watch it. It's actually a very good film. I have Scream 2 right here on Blu-ray. Doesn't work for some reason. I think this just might be dirty. But please go watch the first Scream because it is such a good film, especially for the 90s. Wes Craven was such a genius. Rip. He unfortunately died before he could make Scream 5, but we're finally getting it. Sadly, it's just called Scream 2022, just like how they did with Halloween 2018. So I'm not very excited how they didn't, like, name it Scream 5, but that's because Scream 4 got really low ratings and they didn't make much money because it had a number, and people were like, well, I haven't seen the first three, I probably won't get that one, but it said new decade, new rules, and people are just too stupid to, realize that when they say new, they mean new. Anyway, so we're going to discuss the first Scream that came out in 1996. Stars Neve Campbell, who is a Scream queen. Of course, she's in Scream. Courtney Cox, who you might know as Monica of Friends. David Arquette, you might know as the brother of Patricia Arquette. Drew Barrymore, and who doesn't know Drew Barrymore? It also has the Fonz for Happy Days for the parents out there. Rose McGowan, who you might know as Marilyn Manson's fiance. She was also in Charmed, the last two seasons, I think, or last season. They also has Skeet Ulrich, who you might know as Jake's dad of Riverdale. Matthew Lillard as Shaggy of Scooby-Doo, you might know him. And Jamie Kennedy, who's been in Son of the Mask, unfortunately. Anyway, so let's get on with the first kill, which is Steve. Now, most people don't remember this, but Steve, I remember because of how gruesome it was. It was something no one's ever seen in 1996 movie. And I wasn't even born. I was born in 2001. But when I first saw Scream, I was like, oh my god, what is this kill? So basically, Steve gets cut open while Casey's on the phone with the killer. Casey, who's played by Drew Barrymore, she sees her boyfriend Steve, and I have to say that it's Stu that killed him because later on in the movie, Stu explains how he likes to cut. He knows how to gut someone open, and that's what this weapon to Steve. Next up is Casey. So there's also elements to this her leading up to her kill. There's a trick question, and I'm not sure if everyone knew there was a trick question. You definitely don't know it until the end of the film, but the trick question was that she gets asked a trick question that says, guess which door I'm at. The front door, the back door. And there's a chair that gets thrown through the back door. That was Stu, but Billy is also at the front door waiting for her. Anyway, Stu breaks into the house and goes to the door to let in Billy. And then they're both skulking around the house trying to find her. Stu finds her first, but Casey punches him in the face and Stu gets knocked out. And then Billy comes out from another window and chases her down and stabs her. The reason I think it's Billy is because of the way he holds the knife. So Wes Craven's very genius at what he does because he wanted the killers to be different. So when Stu, he holds his knife like this over both of his like both hands over the head, but Billy holds it like this, like a stabbing motion, and that's how Casey is that it dies. It gets stabbed to death by that. So I have to say I do think it is Billy who killed Casey. So we've got one kill for Stu and one kill for Billy. Next kill comes way later on in the film, but before that we have to talk about Sydney's first attack. So Sydney is attacked in her house late at night. She gets a call who I think is Billy on the other line, and I'll tell you that why later. But the person in the house who's attacking her after she goes back in is Stu. Stu's been waiting in the closet ever since like 5 hours just so he can I think scare Sydney because they're talking about killing her later on in the film. So I think he just wants to scare her. The reason I think it's Stu is because of the way he holds the knife. And if you turn up the volume very loudly, you listen very closely, you can hear actually Stu's voice while he's running upstairs saying, "Easy, easy." You can actually hear him say that. And then the reason I think Billy was calling is because when he came in through the window, his phone dropped out of his pants. And that's why I think he was the caller. I mean, it's quite obvious he was, wasn't it? Anyway, the next kill is the Fonz. Hey! But unfortunately, I think it was Billy. Mostly because he was like stabbing like that. And he wasn't doing like this. Because that's what Stu does later on in the film. Yeah, but unfortunately, the Fonz dies. And the other reason I think it's Billy is because Stu was following Sydney and Tatum around when they were going grocery shopping or just in the outside. But the reason I think Stu was following him, the reason I think it was Stu is because he did tell them to go get snacks, so he knew exactly where they would have gone to go get snacks for his party that night. The next kill, who was the next kill? Tatum, Rose McGowan. So I think it was Billy who killed her, even though Stu did ask her to go to the garage, but I think it was Billy, because there's no caller this time, and Billy is usually the caller, I think. Anyway, so Billy, he basically just killed her with a garage door. If you did not know that kill, then you're quite stupid, because it's one of the most famous kills in movie history. Also one of the most dumbest decisions in horror movie history. But yeah, so she dies by a garage door. The reason I think it's Billy is because, there's no caller. But Stu was also at the party trying to entertain his guests, and Billy could have just slipped in and slipped out. He got back outside, and then he scares him. He also gives a look to Stu saying, "I did the job. She's dead. Congratulations. You're single again." And that's another reason why I think it was Billy. Then this is when it gets really confusing. So I think Stu kills Kenny in the van before he tries to kill Randy. And then later on, what happens? Oh, it's so confusing because, then I think it's Billy who stabs Dewey in the back and then chases Sydney into the car. And then it's empty. The reason I think it's Billy, because Stu came back way too quickly to get out of his Ghostface costume and just throw away. He would have, done something else with it. The reason I think it's Billy is because he grabbed her by the neck, and Billy always does that when he's about to kill someone. And then, Billy kills no one else because he dies by himself. So yeah, that's basically it. I thought there was way more kills than that in the film. It's just me thinking it. But, this is my own opinion. I mean, I've seen Scream, all of them, over 100 times, just to do my research on who could kill who. And even my least favorite, I sit through Scream 3 like 100 times. And in this movie, this guy right here, Jerry O'Connell, he annoys the hell out of me in this film. I hate him so much. I wish he was the killer number 2, but we'll discuss that next time. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.